Is it appropriate for a 46-year-old man who is going through separation with two young daughters to approach beautiful, gorgeous, and much younger women at the gym? I asked myself this question this morning and I decided to give it a try. Here's what happened and why the answer is not what you think it is right now. To give you a bit of context, I've been watching dating videos online, mostly from Coach Kai, who is an awesome coach. He teaches men at any age how they can approach women in public. He can really help you. Also, just yesterday, I watched a video from a much younger guy, and the title of the video was, I asked 100 gym girls on a date. And I couldn't believe it. And I was really curious. I watched the whole video, and that's when I decided, okay, Julian, if I want to do it, I will do it this way, because it's really a nice, clean way of doing it. Because the gym isn't the normal place to approach women. And I thought to myself, if these guys can do it, I can do this too. And I'm not doing it at the Kit Kat in Berlin at 3 a.m. in the morning, because that's just not who I am. I'd rather meet women on a Saturday morning at the gym. So here's what happened. Approach number one. I was really scared. I just entered the gym and I saw this beautiful woman walking by, and I thought to myself, okay, gotta do something now because I really want to try this. So I went up to her. She was at the vending machine getting a drink, and I said, so is the vending machine working this morning? Because sometimes it's actually not. You seem very nice. Would you go on a date with me? And she said no, and she just went away. And I thought, okay, that was interesting. And I started my workout. And when I was at the leg press, I overheard two people talking with each other, like a really beautiful woman again with some guy. And they were joking and bantering. And I thought, okay, maybe they're a couple or maybe they're dating. And then I thought, okay, how do I do this? And I did something that surprised me a bit as well. I looked at the guy, I looked at the girl, I said, good morning. Seems like you're having fun this morning. Are you the trainer or are you on a date? What is your story? And the guy laughed at me and he said, so you want to ask her for a date? And then I actually looked at her and said, you seem nice. Do you want to go on a date with me? And she just gave me that heartfelt smile. And she said, you know what? I have a boyfriend. He's here as well in the gym this morning. I continued the conversation a bit longer. It felt super natural. So here I was, two approaches at the gym. And while I didn't get a number or a date, which I didn't care too much about anyway, I just celebrated myself for being courageous enough to just approach. And I was on a high, literally. And I saw myself talking to guys in the gym and generally being open. And I just loved the way I felt about myself. So a few hours later, I'm at the store buying drinks for my office. And there's this other woman, like in her mid-20s. And I noticed something about her shoes. They looked quite interesting. So I complimented her on the shoes. And she was really happy to get that compliment. And I thought, this is interesting. I don't have to do a direct approach. I can also do an indirect conversation starter and let's see where it goes. And she told me about her two younger brothers, and I told her about my two daughters, and all of a sudden I was in a conversation. So the approaches in the morning actually gave me the confidence and the motivation to continue doing it. And I think one act of courage compounds into the next. So the best way to start your day is to do the thing you're scared of, and then just see how everything else becomes more easy during your day. So now the interesting thing is I shared this story with a friend on the same day, and he said, Julian, you might have been a bit too direct and putting a lot of pressure on these women. I think he's probably correct, but I told him if I hadn't done it this way, like an ultra direct way, I probably wouldn't have done it at all. And then I realized something interesting. I think just approaching and generally being open and talking to other people, it creates a dynamic where you learn to be more social and be more calibrated, and being able to read a room It's a skill, and I'm sure if I do more of it, it'll become easier and easier. So here's an interesting thing. When it comes to approaching women, I try to be aligned with my values. I went to date with destiny, and courage is high up on my list, and this also applies to other areas of our lives. It's important to stay in sync with our values. For example, I have friends who go to the Kit Kat Club here in Berlin, and they go there between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just something I don't want to do. I don't think these women going to the Kit Kat Club align with my values very well. And I actually want to get a good night of sleep, not just on weekdays, but on weekends as well. That's why when I go to the gym and I see a beautiful woman at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, I know that she might share similar values. I mean, she's working out. She probably hasn't had a drink last night. And I actually haven't had a drink for the past 2 years now. So I'm not looking to go in that environment anyway. People have values and people have needs. And Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs. Let's say one of your core needs is love and connection. And dating and meeting women, it falls into that category. If you think the only way to get to know women is to go to a club, to drink a lot of alcohol, then the problem is, because you have the need for love and connection, that you will absolutely violate your values in order to meet your need of getting love and connection. And that's a problem. But if you know, by watching this video and watching Coach Kaya, who I've mentioned at the beginning, and you see them approaching women and they're doing it in bright daylight and they're getting numbers and they're getting dates, why on earth would you want to go to a club at 2 o'clock and get drunk if that's not who you are? It just does not make any sense. Another thing I want to be really clear about, I'm actually not looking for a girlfriend at all. I don't think I'm missing anything at this moment in my life. As you know, I'm going through separation from my still wife and I have 2 kids. So why am I approaching women then? You might ask. Well, the thing is, at some point I might want to date women, and it's a skill. Being social is a skill that can be trained. And when I'm ready, I don't want to start from scratch, so I might as well approach women and generally people right now. So when the time comes, I have the skills when it really counts. Another thing you might want to do is approach women from a feeling of abundance. You don't need her in your life, or you don't need to date. You don't need sex. You don't need love. At least this is how it is for me. Tony Robbins, for example, he likes to say, all I need is within me now. All the love I need is within me now. And it's actually true. Most people think they'll be happy when they get something from the outside. But the real trick is to tell yourself that you already have everything you need, like the love, the strength, everything you need is already within you now. And so when you approach a woman from that mindset, it changes everything, because you're not there to get anything from her. You're there to give her something. For example, a honest compliment or a smile or a good conversation. That's something you're creating and you're giving that to another person. I mean, that's huge. Just imagine. So let's say you're a burnout business owner, or you're going through separation and you don't know if you're allowed to talk to women. Well, you are, but maybe you don't want to take it so far as to, have sex with the first woman you meet. I don't think it's a good idea. To be social and to talk with people and to approach women, that's probably a very good idea. I'm doing that. And also, if you're used to taking perfect action and making plans and being strategic, then you might not get into action, which can be a problem. Because if you think in your mind it has to be perfect, or if you think in your mind, if I don't get a date, I failed, that's also a problem. Because what you really want to do is just be courageous and do the thing, take imperfect action, and see how it changes your state of being. In my case, I completely messed up my first approach. Well, it's not even a mess up, it's just I gotta know. but it changed my state in a way that, oh, this is interesting. I might try it again and try something different. So don't wait for perfect conditions. Just go out there and do the thing. So if you're a business owner and going through a separation or divorce, or you're feeling stuck, like generally stuck in your life, don't wait for perfect conditions. Just get out there and be courageous. My gym approach wasn't perfect, but it created everything that followed next. And if you don't start with the first step, nothing is going to happen. And weeks and months will go by and nothing changes in your life. Because the thing is, approaching women is just a symbol for being courageous, and it applies to different areas in your life as well, like business and family and friends and everything. I'm living this transformation in real time. I'm actually going through separation and I'm rebuilding my life at 46. There are guys much older than me who also rebuild and they succeed at this. So don't think anything can stop you. All issues related to your separation or divorce will be solved in a beautiful way if you know how to go about it. If you're afraid of losing money, not finding love again, or having a bad connection with your kids, don't worry. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and like this video. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Please comment below. In any case, that's it for today. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one.